up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice and Dragons, we are going to be continuing our coverage of Phase 2 of Saban's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, published by Renegade Game Studios and designed by Jonathan Ying. Now, I'm going to toss it over to Julie, who will tell you more about the game itself.
So the base game that this is an expansion for is a cooperative game intended for ages 14 above that plays 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 if you have the expansion.
Well, this expansion will definitely let you play 6 Rangers. I mean, you got the Green Ranger and the White Ranger, who are, in and of themselves, 6 Rangers.
And it says 45 to 90 minutes, definitely over an hour to play this game.
This game is definitely a solid hour 15, depending on the player count. We like to debate, but it's about that.
Yep.
And what would you say, especially with the Tommy pack? Well, I don't think it really changes it that much. You can definitely play this with someone under 14.
Yeah, I think as we've said in other Power Rangers videos, it's mainly components.
Yes, mainly components. If you didn't know, it's a little trick. The higher the ages, the less you have to worry about safety ratings. So that's why they have things like 14 and above on games that you can play with much younger kids. Now, that being said, let's talk a little bit about Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. For those of you that don't know the game, that just found this because you're a fan of Tommy Oliver, well, you should check out the game. There'll be a link popping up over there that will take you to a review on how to play of Saban's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. What you are doing in the game is you will have your command center that is surrounded by Angel Grove. There will be vicious enemies such as Rita Repulsa, Lord Zed if you have the Kickstarter exclusives, Master Vile, and other famous Power Rangers bosses, as well as famous monsters like Primator and Eye Guy that will be assaulting the city. Well, those guys are actually Kickstarter exclusives as well. And you will have your foot soldiers, putties, super putties attacking, and you must defend Angel Grove, defeat the foot soldiers, defeat the monsters, and then finally defeat the boss. If you got the base game, it'll be Rita Repulsa, and save Angel Grove. I think I've covered everything.
Yep.
So what time is it, Julie?
Time to grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend.
We're going to take it to the table.
And take it to the table. But now what time is it?
You can go ahead.
I have to do it because, I mean, Tommy said it all the time. I just don't have a power morph or anything, which would be pretty cool. Maybe one day. But it's morphin' time! Let's take a look at the components for the Legendary Ranger Pack, Tommy Oliver, the expansion for Saban's Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. Now, for those of you that do have the Kickstarter exclusives, you are familiar with the Green and White Ranger. We do ever get a new sculpt for each figure. So here is Mighty Morphin White in a different pose than what he was in the Kickstarter exclusives. And the same for Mighty Morphin Green. Now, same good quality. I love the detail on the shields. The abs definitely looks like the characters. Now, you are getting the exact same deck that was available in the Kickstarter exclusives. Now you may notice if you're counting the cards that there are some missing. I did get some defects from Renegade, which they are in the process of replacing. And actually by the time this review comes out, I may have them, but I'm just excluding them for the moment. So you do get the Dagger Solo, which is pretty cool, reduces the energy cost by 1. Solo Strike, and this is the new version of the card, where before rolling you may remove 1 die from this attack. If you do, you get to return it to your hand instead of discarding it. The Dragon Dagger, which lets you attack twice, potentially on different targets. Dragon Rush, where you attack with 1 die, then perform a second attack with 2. The Dragon Shield, which lets you reduce damage by 3, but then get an extra attack. And then you would also have another Dragon Shield as well as a Blade Blaster. Now, for Tommy Oliver, we do also get a new Ranger card with the Gift of the Dragon ability, which once per battle, you may place 1 card from your hand on another Ranger's character card. That Ranger may then play that card as if it were in their hand. Once it's done, it goes back to the bottom of your deck. Then we also have the one from the Kickstarter exclusives. Loner, if you're the only player with a Ranger in your location, add 1 die to each of your attacks. Now, we've got Mighty Morphin White. We'll take a look at his cards. So same as the Kickstarter exclusives, Flying Tiger, 2-die attack. After you resolve it, you can pay an energy so another ranger can go. Feigning slash 3-die attack, where if you roll any zeros, goes back to your hand. Flash Kick, which lets you play a reaction before battle even starts to roll 2-die and deal that much damage. Great way to stop some fast cards. Guardian Armor, you gain 2 energy and place the card at the top of your deck. Saba's Eye Beams deal 1 damage to up to 4 enemy cards. Then Saba Slash, a 5-die attack where you can split the damage amongst any number of targets. And you would have actually another Flying Tiger, but that was one of the cards that I had an issue with. Now we do get 2 Mighty Morphin White hero cards, Rallying Light. Once per battle, if there is no energy in the shared pool, you may gain 1 energy. And then the one from the Kickstarter exclusives. Once per battle, when any ranger reveals a card for defense, you may add 1 defensive shield to that card. So continuing on in Tommy's story, we're going to take a look at Turbo Red. So pretty cool. I like the look of the character. I like the pose that he's in. We'll take a look at his cards. So we've got Full Throttle. Ranger of your choice may immediately play 1 card. If it is an attack, you add X number of die, where X is the amount of energy you spent. Turbo Strike. Attack with 2 dice. After rolling, choose 1 die from this attack and gain an amount of energy equal to the damage on that die. Pretty cool. Auto Blaster. So just like your Blade Blaster, except you can ignore guard. Redline Slash. 2-die attack. If there is no energy in the shared pool, you get to add an extra die to the attack. Slipstream Charge. Play this card when another ranger gains energy to gain energy as well. Pretty cool. Turbo Lightning Sword. Once you resolve the attack, you may perform a second attack, and that is based on the amount of energy you spent to play your Turbo Lightning Sword. Now, we would have another Full Throttle and another Turbo Strike in the deck, but those are the 2 cards I had issues with. So Tommy Oliver, Turbo Red, shift into Turbo. Once per battle, when any ranger plays a card with an energy cost of X, we may resolve it as if they spent +1 energy. So basically, Full Throttle will always have 1 energy cost, which is pretty cool. Then lastly, Dino Thunder Black. And I was super happy when he came back in this role. Got me rewatching Power Rangers when I was too old for Power Rangers, but still loved it. So let's take a look at the cards. Jurassic Counter. Play this card when an enemy card deals damage to any ranger. Gain 1 energy and deal damage to that card. Pretty cool. Brachio Staff. Choose 2 attacks in your discard pile with an energy cost of 1 or less, and you can play both of them. That's awesome. Energy Orb. You skip the next ranger turn, but you do get a 5-die attack. Great to smash some dangerous cards. Finishing Blow. Add 1 die to this attack for each hit token on the card. Fire Strike. The next time any ranger performs an attack, that ranger may reroll any number of dice during it, like that. And then Wave Strike. You must deal 1 damage of each die from this attack to a different target. Now, everything was good except for the Fire Strike. I'm getting one of those replaced. Now, before we move on to Evil Robot Tommy, we'll take a look at our Zords. And I think in this case, they're a little jumbled up here. They're not in any order, but we'll present them in the proper order because I want to go through Tommy's history here. So we got the Dragon Zord, same as the Kickstarter exclusive. Exhaust this card when any ranger defeats an enemy card with an attack. Excess damage can be dealt to another card of your choice. White Tiger Zord. Exhaust the card after any ranger performs a maneuver. This will allow another ranger to immediately play 1 card with 0 cost. Now this, having the Lightning Cruiser instead of a Zord, I really think means we're going to get a turbo expansion at some point. So exhaust this card at the start of a battle to allow the rangers to take the first turn, even if there's an enemy card with the fast keyword. But you will end up skipping the final ranger turn in the battle. The Brachiozord, when you summon this card at the start of each action phase, you'll take a random Zord card out of the box and attach it to this card. You exhaust the card to use the ability of the attached Zord. So basically, you never know what you're going to get with the Brachiozord, but it'll be a cool Zord power. Maybe even you'll draw a Megazord. So Dragonzord in battle mode, so the upgraded Megazord, when the Dragonzord takes the place of the Tyrannosaurus, you exhaust this card to place the Megazord token in any location. At the start of each battle in the Megazord's current location, roll 6 dice. You get to deal that much damage to an enemy card of your choice. Great way to take out some big nasty cards with your Zords. So lastly, we've got Evil Robot Tommy, who it looks like Dino Thunder Black, but he's got a whole bunch of spikes on him. Let's take a look at some of his cards. He's got a Dark Brachio Staff, 4 damage to the lead ranger, 2 damage to each other ranger. A fast card, deal 3 damage to the lead ranger, and then they must discard a card. We have single combat. While this card is in play, only the lead ranger can play combat cards, which is really annoying. That's when that Dragon Megazord in battle mode would come out. Sorry, the Dragon Zord in battle mode would help out. Heartless Barrage, the lead ranger must discard the top 3 cards of their deck. It's also got guard. We got the Evil Robot Tommy card, and we would have had another Cyborg Beatdown, just that I'm having an issue with that card specifically. So there you have it. We've taken a look at the components for the Legendary Ranger pack. So it's all of Tommy Oliver's history. Hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at the expansion for Saban's Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. Now Julie and I will be coming back at you with our review of this expansion. And don't worry, we did play an all Tommy team fighting against Tommy because we got the Evil Green Ranger too. So you'll get to hear about it. So Saban's Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid, the Legendary Ranger pack, Tommy Oliver. The first and possibly only, I'm trying to think of other Rangers that they could make a big pack like this for. Not sure unless they start changing up the Ranger decks, but there are a few. What did you think about this expansion for the game?
Well, I was a little confused. As I've said before, if you've watched any of these videos, I didn't watch the show, so I was wondering how we can have a box full of different color Rangers with the same name. Still don't think I quite understand how exactly that happened, but...
So I will give you a brief crash course. So the way it worked, Tommy started off as a Green Ranger. Now the show uses Japanese footage. They ran out of Green Ranger footage, so they then made him the White Ranger using more footage from a different season. After that, they started changing the suits every year, so that's why he has a whole bunch of different Ranger forms. Then he left the show and came back for the first show that was about dinosaurs, since he started in the dinosaur show, and that's when they did Dino Thunder, and that's his Black Ranger that you can see on the back there. So there you go.
Okay. So that being said, we have a lot of Power Rangers content. That being said,
we have more content for other games.
We still have a lot of content for
Yes,
Power Rangers.
Do. We really do.
Don't try to minimize it.
I'm not.
So what I have to say though is these there's 2 really big things that I like about this pack. One, there are a couple of characters that he has there, or versions that I think have some pretty cool cards and powers to them. The white and the black, I think, are pretty good versions.
So the white we already have, but we have his original card. You do get, so for those of you that do have the Kickstarter exclusives or are thinking about getting it, in this pack you will get essentially everything that was in the Kickstarter exclusives. You get 2 versions of the White Ranger cards, 2 versions of the Green Ranger cards. The only thing that is different is the sculpt of the miniature for the Ranger. Now, what you were talking about is the White Ranger with his Rallying Light ability, which is the new ability for this pack.
Yeah, and the Black Ranger also pretty interesting. So that being said, that's the one thing I really liked. Also, the Legendary. And I think I have much more to say about the the ability to create these legendary Rangers. So do you want to talk a bit about it so I don't bastardize it too much? Because you're the one who had fun. Basically, I got to go through different Rangers that we've played and pick my favorites, and then you built me decks.
Yes.
Which, if for those of you who watch our videos know, I love my deck building abilities, and this was fun. So I'll let Jason talk about the process a little bit more. Yes,
I will. So is there anything you wanted to add about the Rangers? Like, because you've played all the Rangers now. Who was your favorite out of all these different versions, and what was maybe your favorite abilities?
Of the Tommy?
Yeah.
The white and the black. I don't know which one really.
You didn't like the green? Playing with Loner? You had a lot of fun with the Loner ability.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting confused with the last green I played that I really didn't like.
Yes. Well, when you played with Loner, you had the extra die, so you were able to go by yourself and clear like 4 cards.
Yes, that I did enjoy, but I think it's the last card ability that I really didn't love much. I felt kind of...
No, the Gift of the Dragon ability. What it does is it lets you give a card to another player that they can then play. It'll go at the bottom of your deck. Now, that card is actually very thematic to the show because there's an episode and you actually see Tommy gift the dragon shield. So that's sort of what it's based on. You can use it for other things, like for example, Green Ranger's out of actions. Someone needs an extra attack card. It's very situational, but can be rather strong. I think that we just, in terms of the way we like to play the game, prefer the Loner ability. Just found it to be an all-around much better overall ability. Mm-hmm. And then Rallying Light was really cool. Run out of energy, gain an energy. So that was really neat. And I don't know, you got to play the Black Ranger, the Dino Thunder Ranger, who has some interesting abilities. Well, his ability to give an extra die was very cool. And what did you think about the Turbo Ranger? Probably the most interesting and different one that we have.
Which color was that?
The red one.
Yeah, I don't know. I know you really enjoyed playing with the red ones. It was nice, but I think I enjoyed the other ones more. It wasn't, I don't know. I guess maybe you've talked about it in the past. It takes a little bit more building of strategy when you're using it than maybe the others.
Yeah, because with Turbo Red, basically you've got cards that cost X energy, so you have to pay energy for them. But your ability means that at least one of them will automatically have an energy. So you really have to build like a sort of a strategy around gaining energy, spending energy, and how you can chain all your attacks together. He's a very powerful ranger, and you can do a lot of really cool stuff, especially his Turbo Lightning Sword. I mean, for just like a 2 energy attack, you get to make 2 attacks with 2 dice, which is fairly strong when you consider other cards that can be played. And the Black Ranger just has a lot of interesting abilities I found in terms of his energy orb, which is pretty cool. It skips a ranger turn, but gives you like 1 last attack. We always played it as the last card since there was no more ranger turns. So it's kind of nice to have 1 card left, toss those 5 dice. And then just some of his other abilities are very support, but also able to hit a lot of cards. But I think the one thing that you liked the most about the Black Ranger, I think that's why it stood out, was the Zord, the Brachiozord. The one that gives you a random Zord from the deck.
Yeah, that was fun.
And that changes every time.
Yeah.
Well, since we've got all the content, we've got a lot of Zords, so you just get a lot of really cool variety. And the last thing we should talk about before we move on to the Legendary Ranger mode is the evil version of Tommy, the robot Tommy that we had to face. What did you think about him? Some of his nasty fast and guard cards.
Yeah, he didn't really stand out compared to other bosses. But again, to me, he was just another one of the bosses that we had to beat. So.
No, and I think we played him. We played him very well. You had a couple of really good rolls, and
if I remember correctly, the Black Ranger, is it the Black Ranger or Lone? I can't remember which one I had. That I basically, he's the one. The Black one is the one that creates energy, right?
No, that was the Red Ranger that creates energy. Oh no, the White Ranger that gets energy, yes. She was using Rallying Light and Fainting Slash and kept playing basically 1 card almost the entire game. And when you're paired up with the Black Ranger, who gives you an extra die, you're almost always rolling a 0. Well, a miss. And that was it's pretty fun to just watch you go, I'm going to do this, 3 dice. And basically everyone else is like, this is cool, we're not even spending a card.
the ranger that allows you to basically that's the Blue Ranger, that's another.
Yes, you're thinking about the Zeo Ranger pack.
Yes, sorry.
So there's a neat villain in here, some cool new Zords. I'm not a big fan of the Turbo Ranger Zord. You get the Lightning Cruiser. Now I think the reason for that is you're going to see a Turbo Ranger pack at some point in the future, so they're saving the Turbo Zords. And by having the Black Ranger in this pack, well, they can do the smaller Dino Thunder team in the future. Which is only a 3-Ranger team, so that's why they can do something a little different. Now, Legendary Ranger mode. What you're going to do in that mode is you're going to build your own 10-card deck. It can be any card from any Ranger. We tried to keep it as thematic as possible. So I made a deck that was mixed of all different Tommy cards. So all of his different Ranger forms. We made a red Ranger, we made a blue Ranger, we made a yellow Ranger. We also had a pink Ranger.
I had pink, yellow, and blue.
Yeah, you had pink, yellow, and blue. Yeah, the blue was the other one that I neglected to mention. Now, the way that you do this is you take 3 cards with 1 shield. You take 4 cards with 2 shields and 3 cards with 3 shields. Then you can pick whatever Zord that is associated with the cards that you included into the deck. And there you go. Pick your favorite Ranger, as long as one of their cards is in the deck, and have some fun. And I gotta say, some of the Rangers didn't work as well as I thought they would. I think your blue and your yellow were probably the 2 strongest ones that I constructed, because Trini's ability combined with Jack's headbutt, like ram cards from Shattered Grid, are kind of broken. I'm not going to lie, it's broken, a little overpowered. You get to basically roll 4 dice against the guard card if you have both of them in your hand, and you get the cards back in your hand. Like, you can just keep smashing guard cards as long as you want with a very strong attack.
Yeah, plus that, being able to put energy on up to, however many villains, and then,
Now you're talking about your Blue Ranger now.
Yeah, and being able to roll all of those, do all the damage to all of the cards. It's pretty powerful.
Well, that was that was not the Yellow Ranger.
No, that was the Blue Ranger.
Yeah, the Blue Ranger, which we combined Zeo Blue with Hyperforce Blue and Mighty Morphin Blue. So basically, she had cards to attach and build energy, as well as all of their attacks that go back to the top of her deck. So she was like, play a card, top of the deck, play a card, top of the deck. So it was just kind of interesting to watch some of these cool builds. Now, the mix of cards that I made with Tommy was okay. I didn't find it to be particularly great. I made a really cool Black Ranger that I thought that would be more effective, but I think your cards were just so much stronger.
Trini's ability to play 2 cards of the same name, combined with the fact that, she has some pretty good, named cards, it just made it,
Well, all the Yellow Rangers had pretty good name cards that were doubles, which was, that 3 shield guard headbutt attack. Like, it's 0 cost. Broken. So suffice it to say, we had a lot of fun. We were able to fight the deluxe villains, but I think Zeo Blue is still probably, I'm going to say, maybe the strongest Ranger in the game, combined with, yes, one thing we almost forgot to talk about in this pack, your new favorite Megazord.
Remind me which one that is?
The one that lets you roll 6 dice to stomp somebody?
Yeah, and remove 3, though.
No, you don't have to remove 3. The Dragon Zord in battle mode.
Yes, the green Zord.
Well, no, it's not green, it's the Megazord.
Well, yeah, it's... Sorry.
But it is based on the Green Ranger, yes.
Yes.
She was, you associated because you were rolling the green dice.
Yes.
Anyhow, she had a lot of fun with it, as did I, watching her basically roll 6 dice and eliminate a boss card every time. So when we were playing the deluxe, big figures, Mega Goldar and Cyclopsis, she pretty much was just like, done, get rid of this card. I was like, Then combined with Zeo Blue, that would take out like 3 cards. We're like, there's 4 cards gone in the first few turns of, the first turn sometimes of the battle. And when you got to face 6 and 4 are gone, you're in a good spot.
Yeah. Jason was having a little bit less luck rolling his dice when he...
I was not having good luck rolling the dice. That's why she was controlling the Dragon Zord in battle mode. But probably our favorite Megazord lets you roll 6 dice to hit 1 card at the start of each battle. Very, very powerful. So I think we've done enough. We've talked about Legendary Ranger mode, which for the rule set, I just explained it to you. You can also find it online, so you do not necessarily need this expansion pack for it. But I will have to say, for the Zords, the Rangers, and even just the different poses, which were a lot of fun, kind of like the dagger stabbing down. We took some fun pictures with it. I think you've got a worthy addition here. So Julie, what is your rating of the Legendary Ranger Tommy Oliver pack?
Given the legendary status, or the fact that, I'm going to forget that you said you can get them online, but I think with the Zords and the legendary, and,
Although you get the rules, but I mean, you don't get any of these cards, the monster, the villain, the Brachiozord.
I think it's 7.5.
Yeah, I think this is another 7.5. It gets close to an 8. I think it would have had to have a little bit more content for us, as we do have the Kickstarter exclusive pack. So some of the stuff was doubled, but hey, I mean, I almost have enough content to fill a full Green Ranger team of just, well, I don't have an extra sculpt, but I mean, I've got 2 full sets of Green Ranger cards, so people don't have to fight over the Green Ranger anymore. So that's pretty cool. But yep, 7.5. This is a solid addition to the game.
So on that note, it's time to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we have some new content for you.
And also take a look down below in the video description. You'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. There are tons of pictures of us playing Saban's Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. Want to see the Tommy Oliver pack, the Zeo Ranger pack, or go way back when we originally got the game and see us playing the original game. It's all there. Also popping up in front of me will be links to our previously released content. One will take you back to our most recent video. The other will take you to our Zeo Ranger review. Now you may be wondering why we're not going back to the base game. Well, there's one Tommy form missing, that's Zeo Ranger 5, so I figure it's a little thematic to take you back to that. So what time is it now, Julie?
It's time to grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend.
And he's going to make me say, go, go, Power Rangers.
Yes, go, go, Power Rangers. And we're going to keep playing games.
Keep playing games.